Again, hello, it's Colin from OpenRV HQ again, and now I'm going to show you how to plug up or plunger up your electronics tubes, and well, let's get it all ready for your first dive. So you should have had from your syringes from way back when you're assembling your end caps, you should have 2 of these syringes that will go inside that hole to plug it up and make it watertight. So again, these holes are really useful because oftentimes when you're sealing up the end caps, you kind of want to have one of them pulled off, or especially when you're trying to pull it apart, it's a lot easier to pull these out to kind of make that such that there's no pressure differential when you're trying to pull it out. Otherwise, because it's a sealed air container, when you're trying to pull apart the end caps, that negative pressure will really make it really difficult to open up your electronics tube. So what you want to do is first off, oftentimes after kind of sawing off and preparation, there might be a little bit of bits and pieces of plastic inside the hole. So just take your plunger, go in and out a couple of times to clean it out. Just kind of pull it off and make sure this stays relatively clean as well. We can use a Q-tip to try to shove it down, try to get some of the gunk out. But once that's clean, insert that in all the way, make sure it's all the way. And again, you want to then take a cutter of some sort and then cut it relatively flush with the side of the end caps. So again, you want to cut it pretty much same level as the sides, just a little bit more though, maybe like a millimeter or 2, right about there. If you can see that, not really, but I'll show you again. But you want to cut it right about there. Cool. And then once you pull it out, get something like this. So again, you want it to fit nicely in the side of your end cap. So in this case, this one's on that side fits nicely right there. And you want to get the second one on the other side exactly the same as well. So, yep. So then do it exactly the same for the other side. So when you insert them on either side, as you can tell, it's pretty much flush with this. This was a little long because I stole it from another one because I actually couldn't find the other one. But you still ignore that extra length right there. But you want to cut them so they're pretty much flush against the other sides. That way when you want to off-gas it, just take like pliers of some sort, or even your nails, you're able to yank it out really easily. Again, you don't want to be too short, but not too long either, else you'll be able to get it into your chassis. So, now that once this is sealed up, wrong way. Once this is sealed up, again, you peel off this paper. It's okay, not too big of a deal. Insert your electronics tube back into where it belongs. So it's kind of a little bit. It's a really tight fit because the end caps are a little wide. Oh, there you go. Once you get it lined up at an angle, there it is. So then at the same time, remember you installed those O-rings on the bottom, or the little pole rings, I should call them, or whatever. Kind of pull them over while you're assembling it, and then just kind of keep it low. So once the electronics tube is nice and snuggled up inside, you make sure it's pushed all the way. Pull on it, pull it tight on the outer, wrap it around, and it should easily just kind of sit right in those holders on either side. There you go. So again, there you go. And the last but not final piece, well, last and final piece to assemble is your vertical shroud. So take that, put it on top, make sure it's nice and clean. Again, oftentimes this might be a little rough, so I'd recommend, if it doesn't fit well the first time, kind of sand it down, ease it out, but you should be able to, I recommend turning at the same time as well. It's a press fit because you don't want it popping out on you either. Again, don't force it too hard. Again, if it sands in, this is the first time actually putting on this one as well. Oh, there we go. And let's put it in nicely. Oop. Yeah, that lip is catching a little. Let me go at it with a knife. Some sandpaper. So yeah, you can use a razor blade or sandpaper or a deburring tool if you're fancy like that. Just kind of go around the outer edge really quick so that you can make a nice little chamfer, so that's easier to insert in. And make sure there's no burrs as well from the cutting. And then now let's put it on. Should pop in, there he goes. And just kind of like push it down over the ROV. And that Oop. Again, also when you're pushing down, if you notice, I just kind of clamped on the cable right there. So if you want to pull it out, use both fingers at the same time, pull it out. It should pop right out like that. And then push that wire up behind the shroud, and then push the shroud up and over it. That way you want to make sure that the propeller doesn't hit up against that shroud. I mean, a propeller has to hit up against that cable. There it is. So now, your open ROV is assembled. Woohoo! So, to do your first power up, to do your first dive, I'm going to show you in the next video how to prep your open ROV for your very first dive.